Dude, Zelda is about to become an agent of chaos, I can feel it. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Only the second Nintendo game starring a famous princess to launch this year. This game seemingly came out of nowhere, getting announced for the first time during June's Nintendo Direct and launching next month! It's a game I didn't know that I wanted, but I'm getting pretty excited to check it out. Having obviously been built from the foundation of 2019's Link's Awakening remake, Echoes offers us a new top-down Zelda experience. This time around though, rather than the typical Hyrule arsenal of a sword and shield with items like bombs and arrows, Zelda has equipped herself with a magical staff, which allows for her to copy seemingly any item in the game and place an echo of copied items anywhere throughout Hyrule.
I'm gonna make some weird shit.
When we think of top-down Zelda games, the quote-unquote Zelda formula is often what comes to my mind. A structured world with temples that are to be completed in a specific order, earning key items which help the player progress through the adventure. Of course, there is always a little bit of player agency, but for the most part these games have a set golden path that you're not really able to bypass. Not that this is a bad thing, I love those older Zelda titles, and there's a lot of fun to be had with them, but Breath of the Wild has started to take the series in a bit of a different loosey-goosey, we're just playing some jazz kind of direction. And with Echoes of Wisdom, I believe we're seeing the same design philosophies from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom expand past the open 3D world, and get integrated into the traditional top-down Zelda experience. Breath and Tears set players up early on with a toolbox of abilities, and then unleashed them into a world where they could explore and do anything with the abilities that they were given. Zelda was in her cute little girl boss coma, while Link was busy shield surfing and harassing the Korok population. This time though, it's Zelda's turn. Have fun in your funky little vortex prison, homeboy, because I'll be damned if Zelda is not taking a power nap in every inch of this map. Already in the trailers alone, the Echo ability is looking to be very powerful. Get yourself a Moblin bodyguard, become a weapon of mass destruction, block hazards with IKEA plants, and you best be believing that I'm going to be smuggling men into Gerudo Town. Not only that, but Ultra Hand. Bind. Bind? Bind. Yeah, okay, sure, bind, whatever you say, champ. Hashtag totally not Ultra Hand is here too, adding a whole nother layer of gameplay possibilities. The game also appears to offer side quests and a main quest line which can be tracked in a comprehensive, no-frills, down-to-earth quest log.
We did it, Joe!
Leading me to believe that the game is going to allow for players to really pick the paths that they want to take in the way in which they want to take them. Which makes sense, because if we can just build a staircase of beds to get past any given obstacle, players aren't going to really be limited in where they can explore outside of specific key items, like for example, the Goddess Pearls from Wind Waker that might be needed to gain entry into a dungeon. But this is not all to say that I think Echoes of Wisdom is going to be an open sandbox exactly like Breath or Tears. For starters, this map is going to be a fraction of the size of the Hyrule we find in those other games. Echoes is going to be much more contained in scope, and while they are providing a toolset that allows for a very flexible playstyle, we're not just going to be able to make an air bike that can fly all over Hyrule and get us to anywhere we could possibly desire. I also think we're going to see some dungeons more in line with dungeons that we see in older Zelda titles. Breath had the Defined Beasts, which were all kind of the same thing and just beefed up shrine puzzles, and Tears did bring back temples in some sort of capacity, but they were still a bit watered down when compared to something you'd find in the other games. I believe Echoes is going to be more of a midpoint between Tears and your traditional Zelda dungeon. The reason I say that is because I don't think there will be too much to discover in the way of items. I think the staff and this little fairy dude are going to be 95% of what we use throughout the entire game, allowing for dungeons to be most likely tackled in any order. But I do think that the contents of the dungeon are going to have more of your typical Zelda feel due to the nature of how the ecosystem works. For example, let's say there's a nice big ol' eyeball just begging to be shot with an arrow. Sure, maybe Zelda doesn't actually wield a bow and arrow herself, but there's a good chance that we made an echo of an enemy that did. Or we might not have a grappling hook to get us over a long jump, but we have an echo of a bird that can get us over just fine. I think that you'll see a return to the traditional Zelda dungeon, but your library of echoes are going to be the keys to solving the puzzles found within. And with the smaller map size, crafted dungeons are going to be necessary in giving a bit more depth to the game, whereas for Breath and Tears, the world in of itself was able to do most of the heavy lifting. I'm looking forward to Echoes of Wisdom quite a bit. This game came out of seemingly nowhere, and it's a nice little surprise as we continue to navigate the end of the Switch's life cycle. I don't know how they keep doing it with this franchise. This game could have just been a simple successor to Link's Awakening, but it looks like they've crafted something really unique here. What about you? What are you looking forward to Echoes of Wisdom? What are you most looking forward to doing with that sweet little magic staff? Me personally, I think I'm gonna find a villager, clone his wife, and then make him choose which one should live. As always, thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, I'd sure appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up or even subscribe to the channel for more videos to come. Have a good one!